something I've been wanting to do for a long time, something I've been thinking about doing for a long time. You might even say that it was on my bucket list. I know, I'm hearing the collective groan out there, but today I want to talk about bucket feeders. I'm new to this. I have forever used quart jars on top of inner covers because it fits, and it was just the way I'd done it and the way I was getting into it. And so I was looking for something different. I was looking for the ability to use bucket feeders or larger feeders. There's a couple different feeder systems out there, and they're all good ones. It's just what you prefer. The one I first used when I first started out at the garden club 10 years ago was the box that went on top and had 2 slots in it, and it had floating trays, and you filled both of those sides with whatever syrup you were using, and the trays floated and the bees went on top, and you had a lot of kill. And if the trays didn't float, then you had a lot of dead bees floating. I can remember opening up one time and I would bet there were, 10 or 12,000, maybe 15,000 dead bees up in a feeder box. I'm like, well, that doesn't seem right. Anyway, we don't use those anymore because I just can't trust them. Other way to go, and I'll tell you, a lot of the bigger operations do it this way, and that is there's an inside the hive feeder. You put in a deep box, and it's just a big plastic open tray with ladders that lets the bees get down there and feed. That's all well and good too. For me, that just means I got to open up a lot of hives. And it's kind of one extra step if you're a one-guy operation like I am. I've told you before, I'll tell you again, I am the founder, the owner, and I'm the sole employee. And there's a damn good reason for that. So, buckets. I started looking at this as an option, and I liked this idea, and I went and I bought one to try and see how it would work, and I thought, well, that could be perfect. And this is one I bought at North American Honeybee Expo this last January, and I thought, hey, that's perfect. I can just buy a bunch of those. And I asked, I said, that looks a little deep. Does that go underneath the super? They go, no, you got to use a deep box. I went, whew, that's a lot of deep boxes I don't have. Logic told me I need something that would fit inside of a honey super because, as you can tell with this, obviously, that doesn't work. It's above the top. So I needed something to fit in a honey super. So I went out and I investigated, and I found these 1-gallon pails, and they fit perfectly. Now, the inner cover would go below this, obviously, but that's exactly what I want. So then we're looking at basically a inner cover on top of your brood chamber. I can use a honey super on top, and I just simply put my telescoping cover over the top of that. And the thing I like about this bucket, the top does snap on, trust me, is the fact that it's clear. So I've got the ability to just open up the top and go, plenty of feed left, move on to the next one. I haven't tried these yet. I'm going to be honest. I haven't tried them yet, but I've got great confidence because my test runs on building these, which I'm going to show you in just a second, has worked out really well. In fact, no leakage, and I think I've got it down to where I need it. So that's what I've got. I also found, because these are gallons, it could be a little heavy. We're talking, 8, 12 pounds if you fill this. So it's a little hefty. If you don't want to be carrying all that weight. I did find these little half-gallon buckets that I think will probably work pretty well, and I've built one of those as well. So if you just wanted to do a half-gallon on there for whatever reason, I've got them. I'll probably use them. I might find a way to use them on nooks because, again, I'm using Boardman feeders. Boardman feeders are those feeders that attach to the front of the hive, at the landing board at the entrance, and little plastic, and then the quart jar sits on the outside. All well and good. Better at a time when there's lots and lots of food coming in so you don't get robbing. But again, it's just feed sitting outside, and I'd rather not do that. So I might find a way to do these on the top of my Nook boxes as well. But that's a whole nother story. So that's where I'm at. I'm pretty excited about this, and we're not going to worry about the bucket anymore because the bucket's a bucket. You're going to fill it up. we're going to talk about the tops. And here's one of the things that I have found is that I bought these bung hole covers, and I like these bung hole covers for two reasons. One, that they have pull rings on them, so I can lift things up and out if I want. That's not that big a deal. The other thing I like about it is I just like to say bung hole. I don't know why. It's a bung hole cover. Anyway, so, but here's something I discovered was I bought a set of 20 of these and made a few of these, and they worked out perfect. And I knew I was going to need more, so I went back and I ordered the same exact things again and have discovered that no two bung hole covers are alike. These are 2-inch. They're all 2-inch, but they're a different circumference on the top. So it's an issue. I found a way to solve that, but I want to show you because if you decide to do it this way, you may buy and have the perfect hole size for this and then discover that I don't have the perfect hole size for it and they don't fit. So that could be an issue. I've got a solution for that. Second thing I'm going to show you is how to guarantee that they don't leak and they won't leak for a long, long time. So we're going to go back over here to the drill press. And yes, I'm going to show you on a drill press because one, I've got the drill press and for me it's easier to use. If you've got a drill press at home, great. Later on, I'll take the bit out of that, the bit that I'm using, and I'll show you that it will work by using a hand drill. So you don't have to go, well, Dave, I don't have a drill press, and I'm not going to go buy a drill press. Well, you don't need to, but I'll show you that. So finding the right thing to drill the hole was really a challenge, I kid you not, because I went through a bunch of different bits. At first, I thought I had the right size bit, and it was just a regular 1 7/8 inch hole saw. And I thought, well, perfect. And that's how everything measured out. Should have been perfect for that. And when I drilled it, I discovered that it left a crazy burr all around the inside. Then I bought a special tool that I thought was pretty nifty. And it, you know, you just simply set everything to where it needed to be. Well, here's the thing. Not as precision as I needed it to be. And it basically ripped a hole. It didn't cut a hole. That still didn't work. And so I went on to the next possibility. And what that was something I found by accident at my local, here it's Menards, I don't know wherever you're at, but it is a pretty nifty adjustable spade bit that's made by Irwin. This particular one will go down to 7/8 of an inch, I think up to 3 inches. But it allowed me then to make adjustments. Remember when I said a few seconds ago that not all bung hole plugs are created equal? There's just enough of a slight difference that it just didn't fit. So I have the ability now to take this and carefully adjust it to make it fit. Just to give you an idea of what I went through to make this happen. Here's my test cover with the black bit that I showed you. See how it cut two different? That was an issue. This is simply the hole saw that I used, the 2-inch. Okay, well, it was in here someplace. But as you can see with that, it didn't cut clearly. I found another one that kind of cut clearly, but it just still left enough of a burr on the back edge that it was an issue. Now, for all of these holes, I took painter's tape and put over it just because if you put painter's tape on both sides, it helps stop the burr. Then when I tested this Irwin bit, this is the hole that it gave me. It's perfectly clean, perfectly clear, and does everything I need it to do. So I'm pretty excited about that. Let me show you, I set this up to cut these. It's not a big deal, but you know, it's just how I set it up so you can see. So here's the setup. And I think if you're doing it on a workshop table, it could basically be the same thing. But I need to drill through into something, so that's what this sacrificial board is for. Then I need to keep that board from moving around, so I take my handy dandy Irwin clamps and I clamp as far out as I can so that I can get my top in here too. Once I've got those clamped down, you know, I'm going to use the center hole thing here as a guide, just as long as I'm pretty close. It doesn't have to be exact, so I'm not measuring out. but I am going to tape over it, as I said before. I think taping over the space just makes darn sure that you're not going to get a burr. So now that I'm taped, I simply move this in. I'm gonna have to adjust my hold downs a little bit just to get it into the middle there. And then we take this out because it doesn't fit. I'm gonna just clamp this down about where I need it. I'm gonna get my safety glasses. And I have my drill set to the lowest speed it can go. And on this, it's 550 revolutions per minute. And then we're simply just going to slowly cut through this. That's kind of the key. I am going to hold down on this side a little bit, just to make sure, obviously, you keep your fingers out of the way. And in we go to cut it. Tape comes off, and again, perfectly smooth hole, quick test fit, and it's perfect. Exactly what we want. So just to give you an idea, remember, 2-inch bung hole, 2-inch bung hole. But with this, I'm going to have the ability to adjust it down to do exactly what I need to do. So that's the process of drilling perfect holes. And what I want to do now, we're going to head over to the workbench. I want to show you how to do this by hand, because you don't need a drill press. And then after we get done with that, we're going to transition over. I'm going to show you how to make the holes that the bees feed through on this, because it's critical that you do it correctly. Because if you don't, well, the bees can't eat as well, and you could have a mess on your hands. So let's head over to the workbench and make that happen. And again, we talked, you don't have to have a drill press to do this. You can use a cordless drill. It just works the same way. You need to be careful that you are staying very up and even. So let's show you how that happens. And again, it's slow and steady. Where's my midpoint? It's right there, or at least close enough. There we go. And even pressure, slow. And there you have it. It can be done by hand. Don't need the fancy drill press, but that didn't stop me from having the excuse to buy it. So that does it. That's how you drill the holes in these. And now we're going to go over to the table, and I'm going to show you how I drill the holes in these, which is kind of specific because you want a good solid hole. Oh, but anyway, we're gonna go over to the table before I get myself into more trouble. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to drill holes in these. You want to have a very clean hole, because if you don't, then it can help break the surface tension. I've learned that through using or making boardmen. I'm only going to put 3 holes in these. Since I haven't used them before, I don't want to put a bunch of holes and end up drenching the bees. That's the worst thing to do. And then you've just got tons of bees that are cleaning each other off. You've got a mess in the hive. You've got ants. You see where that's all going. So I'm just going to put 3 holes in these, and then I'm going to watch how they do in the spring when I put them out. Okay, so the same way we did over there with the drill press and the large holes, we're going to tape off and make sure that we can get a clean hole through this. And the tape just helps that out. Get a sacrificial board to drill into, and I'm using a good sharp 1/16 of an inch bit. Very small, smallest one you're going to see in a kit, or you can get them. Another hint, I found this out the hard way, is make sure you don't have one that's bent. So run your drill and make sure that it's perfectly straight. So we're just going to drill the 3 holes into these, put them in an area that you know the bees can get to, make it easy on them. There's one. That was complex, wasn't it? Okay, so take off our tape. Kind of hard to see, but they're exactly what I want them to be. Okay, so now we're going to put this together, snap it in, Now we're gonna go over to the sink and test it. So when you're doing your test, what you do is you wanna make sure that you fill the bucket up. Is that loud enough? You want a pretty good amount of water in it. The way that these work is basically on a vacuum system. Once you flip it over, you're gonna get a little bit of a leak, but not that much. But what it does is it creates a vacuum on that top side, and that's what helps hold the water in. So now it's filled and you've got the top on. I want to show you one of the things that's kind of cool about this whole system is that you don't ever have to really take the top back off again. You can just pop these and then you fill however you're filling. I've got a gallon jug that just works great, but then you're just simply filling through the top. Snap your plug back in, flip them over, and create your vacuum, and no leaks. So that's what you're looking for. Hey, I just want to say thanks. Appreciate you joining me today. If you've not hit that subscribe button, please do. It means a lot to us. Again, I keep saying it, but we're building this community and it's just a lot of fun. We're kind of learning together. I'm going to be taking these out into the field. I'm going to be filling with 1 to 1.3 for the spring. I'm going to go through that whole thing in another video where we talk about how we use these feeders on the hives and how we will be mixing and using our food. So until next time, take care. Let's think spring because it's not far away, although it doesn't feel like it. We're 0 degrees tomorrow. Ooh, this is not good. But we'll see you soon. Happy beekeeping.